sing songs for you?
Yeah!
Do you think good? Did he sing Deathly Hallows?
No! Helen Hunt!
He sang Helen Hunt?
Yeah!
That's not bad, though. You could do worse than that. Did he do anything else?
She was awesome.
Happy dance?
Dance?
Yeah.
I'm not going to dance.
No.
Were you able to hear him this whole time? Oh, you didn't hear me?
No.
Awesome! So good! Thank you so much for coming. The first thing that I want to say in the limited amount of time that I have to speak to you is how grateful I am to the Arbor District Library for opening up this Overflow room. You have to keep your applause brief because we got to go fast. And I know that this is not a construction, I really do this. And more generally to public libraries for being these extraordinary institutions. Like, when I can think about public libraries, I get so incredibly excited because anytime that we come together as a community and we agree to sacrifice a little of money that would otherwise be ours to make something awesome, I get incredibly excited. Much more excited than I do when we sacrifice a little money that would otherwise be ours to do something that's like medium. But there's something medium about libraries, these spaces where we can come together and we can all learn. Like when we talk about equality of opportunity in the United States of America, like what we are talking about is libraries. So I hope that you will come to your libraries. I hope that if you're like 16 years old and you're like, what would be a good career for me? Let me tell you, if you want to have a wonderfully fulfilling career in which you will never be paid in a way that is commensurate with your talent, to become a librarian. Maybe in the future, like, librarians will be paid what they should be paid. I used to think that that kind of thing was impossible. But then, like 2 Tuesdays ago, all of a sudden a bunch of things became possible. That was a political statement. But I was referring to other stuff. But like we are super lucky in the nerdfighter community to have like crazy left-wing nutjob nerd fighters and crazy right-wing nutjob nerd fighters and Republicans and Democrats and independents like me. So we're grateful for and respectful of the entire political spectrum. Okay, so I'm going to read you one bit for Favorite Towns, but I don't have a copy of it, so can someone loan it to me? This is my new book, Paper Towns. And they have it for sale downstairs. Borders has it. There's a nice guy. His name's Ali, and he has it for sale if you want to buy it. Hank also has a CD. Did he tell you about his CD?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It makes sense that he would. He's a sellout. You heard me, Green. No, he didn't. I'm just going to read you the first page of Paper Towns, and then I'm going to ramble for a second, and then I'm going to take your many fascinating questions. It's got so much energy. This is from the prologue, but I'm going to read you one of the epigraphs. One of the epigraphs is written by a nerdfighter, Katrina Vandenberg. The other epigraph, by the way, if you're like, what the hell is a nerdfighter? I can't explain. You know what I would do? I would turn to your neighbor, who is statistically a nerdfighter. What is a nerdfighter? You can do that now, just quietly. The second epigraph is from the Mountain Goats, a great band that I like a lot. There was recently a big discussion in this YA librarian listserv about whether or not it was appropriate for the kids in my novel to read, to listen to the Mountain Goats, because of course, apparently teenagers aren't sophisticated enough to have good taste in music. And I was like, I used to be 16 and I had this freaking great taste in music. Arguably better than my taste in music now. So yeah, lots of teenagers like the Mountain Goats. I know because John Darnielle keeps sending me stuff from his tour via Teenage Nerdfighters. Which, by the way, if you're wondering, yes, that is the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. So the song is called Game Shows Touch Our Lives, and the lyric is, people say friends don't destroy one another. What do they know about friends? This is the first page of the prologue. The way I... Don't laugh, okay? Don't laugh, okay? The way I figured everyone gets a miracle. Like, I'll probably never be struck by lightning or win a Nobel Prize or become the dictator of a small nation in the Pacific Islands or contract terminal ear cancer or spontaneously combust. But if you consider all the unlikely things together, at least one of them will probably happen to each of us. I could have seen it rain frogs. I could have stepped foot on Mars. I could have been eaten by a whale. I could have married the Queen of England or survived months at sea. But my miracle was different. My miracle was this. Out of all the houses in all the subdivisions in all of Florida, I ended up living next door to Margot Braun Spiegelman. Our subdivision, Jefferson Park, used to be a Navy base, but then the Navy didn't need it anymore, so it returned the land to the citizens of Orlando, who decided to build a subdivision, because that's what Florida does with land. My parents and Margot's parents ended up moving next door to one another just after the first houses were built. Margot and I were 2. Before Jefferson Park was a Pleasantville, and before it was a Navy base, it belonged to an actual Jefferson. This guy, Dr. Jefferson Jefferson. Dr. Jefferson Jefferson has a school named after him in Orlando, and also a large charitable foundation. But the fascinating and unbelievable but true thing about Dr. Jefferson Jefferson is that he wasn't a doctor of any kind. He was just an orange juice salesman named Jefferson Jefferson. When he became rich and powerful, he went to court, made Jefferson his middle name, and then changed his first name to Doctor. Capital D, lowercase r, period. And that's all I'm going to read. Those of you who've read Paper Towns, I'm going to say this in a non-spoilery way if I can, know that the book is about the relationship between the world we draw and the world that really exists. And the way when we change the world we draw, when we change the world as we map it, it changes the world that exists. And throughout the book, there are people busy misimagining each other and thinking of each other inadequately, complexly, and